Hi, everyone. Today we're here for another co-author spotlight. We have Dr. Erin Mayfield, one of the co-authors of How Healers Heal. Welcome, Dr. Erin. Hi,
Oh,
can
God.
you say hi and introduce yourself?
Hi, Dr. Shopey. I'm thrilled to be here and so excited about the release of our book. As Shopey said, I'm Dr. Erin Mayfield. I live in Pensacola, Florida, and have a lifestyle medicine practice that helps people lose weight naturally with foods from the grocery store. We have an interactive telemedicine platform so that we are able to service people in the privacy of their homes. We love our practice because we're able to provide 2 sessions per week to people who are enrolled in our course. The first session is a coaching session with me, and the second session is with my associate, Chef Heather Flowers, who is a certified international Roubaix culinary schooled chef. So we love having our cooking classes. We love creating recipes where every ingredient is heart healthy. And we love supporting people in their journey to a long and joyous life.
That sounds amazing. And what a service you're doing for everyone, since it's a telemedicine practice. So not just for people locally. That's great. Can you tell us your primary medical specialty and how you got introduced to lifestyle medicine?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. I was initially trained and board certified as an obstetrician gynecologist. I practiced obstetrics and gynecology in the suburbs of Atlanta and Conyers and Covington, Georgia for almost 30 years. When my husband and I relocated to the Florida Panhandle, it took quite a long time to process my medical license. And in the same week that my license was approved and that I was supposed to start working as a gynecologist, I fell and I completely ruptured my right rotator cuff, requiring surgery. But it was during that time that I discovered that there was this newly organized medical specialty called lifestyle medicine. And it was something that I so identified with because I always worked with my gynecology patients in these 6 pillars of health. I'd become a plant-based eater about 7 years prior to that when I read the China study by Dr. T. Colin Campbell, and it really rang true for me. So when I adopted whole food plant-based eating, I started cooking in the kitchen, which I had never done before, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Lost 45 pounds naturally using foods from the grocery store, and continued on to become board certified in 2019.
That is a powerful story, Dr. Erin. Wow, I had no idea. Well, your chapter does talk a little bit about it, and I want everyone to read your chapter. So what made you switch from practicing gynecology to lifestyle medicine completely, or do you practice some gynecology still?
I have switched completely to lifestyle medicine. At the same time I fell in love with lifestyle medicine, I fell in love with telemedicine because I realized that we could reach so many more people in the privacy of their own homes and at their convenience. You know, I have the ability to talk to patients in the evening after work. They don't have to take off of work. One of the big problems that my GYN patients had was that sometimes employers would require them to take a sick day to come to the office to get their pap smears, or take a vacation day, or take a day without pay. And it really, hurt my heart to see that happen. It was almost like penalizing them for doing their preventative work. I felt like I could be so much more effective using a telemedicine group coaching platform for this critical work because I could reach more people that way. It just didn't feel right to me that I should spend time working one-on-one with people like I did in my traditional medical office. And I experienced the power of how inspirational working in a group can be. So it was just 100%. I just became so group oriented and so telemedicine positive. And that was just reinforced when the pandemic hit. So I was working on organizing all of this. And knowing that, my other advantage to having a telemedicine practice was I could continue practicing medicine no matter where I was located. I could be visiting my mother out of town. I could be on vacation. I could be rehabilitating from another, who knows what kind of surgery, and I could still help patients instead of sitting at home waiting to get better to get back into an office. So telemedicine is so powerful in so many different ways and can benefit patients in so many different ways.
Oh my gosh, I have so many follow-up questions, Dr. Erin. This is gold. Okay, so my first follow-up question is, since you were plant-based before you discovered lifestyle medicine, how did you incorporate that with your gynecology patients before becoming officially, lifestyle medicine as a practice?
Oh, I talked about it all the time. My patients always knew that one of my passions was nutrition, that another passion was exercise. We lived in a small town and we all knew each other, and they knew I was in the gym. I used to run, I can't anymore, but I used to run regularly. I talked nutrition every time a woman came in for her annual exam, because women have so many issues that are shared and common. Like, I would routinely hear every day from women, I can't lose weight. It doesn't matter what I eat, I gain weight. I'm so sick and tired of taking all these medications. I can't sleep. I can't give up my cheese. And so after learning about whole food plant-based eating, I had sound scientific advice and counseling for them, but with information that really worked. I understood how addictive the foods in the standard American diet were at that point. It made it very clear. It's like the fog lifted. It made it so clear as to why people had such a hard time losing weight and why it was so easy to gain weight. And I went through these phases myself. You feel like it's your fault that you can't lose weight, or it's so easy to gain weight. And yet, in fact, when we reflect on it, we find that it's really the food. It's not our fault. We're not weak. It's not that we don't have willpower. The foods are manufactured to be addictive. They're full of chemicals. The meat and the dairy all promote weight gain. And of course, as we know, chronic disease formation. And that information was completely new to me when I went through the coursework. Introduced in the China study, but certainly fully developed when I went through the coursework for lifestyle medicine. It's so powerful and so exciting. It's just so exciting to know we're not a prisoner to our genetics. What we've been told our entire lives about whatever's going to happen to us, it's in our genes, we have no control, and we can just throw that all out the window. It's just fabulous.
I'm making notes of what you're saying, just beautiful quotes. Okay, so my next question from your prior discussion was, how do you do group coaching? Since I don't know if anybody, some patients may, or doctors may be aware of the group coaching or group model for lifestyle medicine, but can you explain that just a teeny bit more, and why? Number one, how does it work for you? And two, why is it so beneficial to the participants?
Oh, certainly. Well, first, it's important to know with our group coaching model, we limit the number of people in the group to 20. Because I want everyone to feel like they have personalized attention in our groups. And I feel like I can run one group and do that with 20 people. The second thing we do is we know that lifestyle change is a family affair. So we encourage our participants to engage their spouse or their partner or their best friend if they're single, to come in with them and participate in the class. So our course fee is actually for 2 people, not 1. We're all on a Zoom screen together. This is explained to people privately before they join the course. They have a private one-on-one with me so I can explain how this works. And they sign consent forms, knowing that they will be in a room with other people. We do not discuss personal health issues in the group. I avoid that. If people want to share, they're welcome to do that, but I will not target or talk about personal issues in the group. It's a very non-judgmental environment where people know that we are there to all support each other, share ideas, and help solve problems. We know that changing what we eat can be a very daunting process. It can feel overwhelming, especially when you have one partner who's gung-ho and curious and ready to go and will try anything, and the other one's holding back and saying, I don't know about this. This is kind of funny. Well, I don't think I'm going to like this food. So that's where the cooking classes come in. That's why the cooking classes are fun. We know that when we can not only demonstrate how to cook these lovely plant-based meals, but then people can eat them and see how wonderful they are, then they really get hooked pretty fast. And then we see the excitement grow to continue to try new recipes week after week. And before we know it, it doesn't take but maybe 2 or 3 weeks, people are coming back and saying, oh, wow, that's my new favorite recipe. I feel so good after I eat those plant-based meals. I notice a difference in how my stomach feels. I just feel lighter. I sleep better. So all of those things that we hear about are actually true. Our patients are telling us that. And I actually have one woman who was so sweet to text me actually just a half an hour before we started. I started with her 2 years ago, and she texted me and said, I can't wait to give you my 2-year update. This is so wonderful. I've worked on diets, so many different diets my whole life, and I am so happy now. So that's the most gratifying thing ever. And that's what will keep me working. As long as I have a healthy brain to work, I can do this. So it's exciting work and I love it. And I'll never go back. I need to concentrate on lifestyle medicine.
I love it. So you're creating like mini ripple effects everywhere. I'm sure you know that you influence one person and then their spouse and then their family and then their, friends and then their entire community all over the world through your telemedicine practice. I love it. Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
I mean, you're just serving your patients so much. Okay, I don't want to get too bogged down. So going back to the book, why should doctors or healthcare professionals read this book? And then as a separate question, why should patients read this book that you were so wonderful to write a chapter for?
Oh, well, you're so kind. Thank you. I think physicians and healthcare providers need to read this book first because you've got your brothers and sisters in medicine sharing and being very vulnerable about what they felt were their weaknesses and difficulties in life, whatever those happen to be, and how lifestyle medicine helped us not only survive, but thrive. It helped lift us up. The community of lifestyle medicine physicians also lifts us up. We're small, we're tight, we're coherent, we're like a family. And so we're all in it together and we all have one goal, and that is to help people become healthier, get rid of chronic disease, and have long and joyous lives. The reason that it would be great for non-medical people to read this book is really one of the same reasons, and that is they can see, we're here struggling with the same types of issues as everyone else. Everyone has different challenges and different mountains to climb in their lifetime. And life is all about climbing multiple mountains and having many challenges. And so we do that together. There are different types of problems that physicians have had in this book. They talk about how lifestyle medicine has helped them become resilient, more resilient to these challenges. And I think that there are many people who can identify with the stories in this book and get nuggets and pearls about how they may be able to enrich their lives with the same methods.
I agree with you. I mean, you said it wonderfully. Let's see here. What is one takeaway that a patient could make, or a doctor, to get started with lifestyle medicine or lifestyle changes today, just walking away from watching you and listening to you?
Oh gosh. I love to recommend to people to watch the documentary Forks Over Knives. It's just outstanding. It shows people where the research started in our century. It introduces them to some of our most prominent and esteemed physician scientists and PhD scientists like Dr. Esselstyn and Dr. T. Colin Campbell. And it also provides the basics as to how to get started and why, how the harmful foods drive the formation of chronic diseases, how different it is in different countries all over the world. I love to tell people in one of my talks, it's called The Power of Food. And I tell them there are only two types of food. There are foods that harm and there are foods that heal. And that's it. And we're going for the anti-inflammatory healing foods, which science has demonstrated over and over again with our amazing technology as to how that's done. And then there are the foods that harm, the meat, the dairy, the processed foods, the salt, fat, and sugar, and the chemicals. So I would get started with Forks Over Knives. I love to tell young people and also women to have their men watch the movie The Game Changers. I think that the section in there with the urologist about penile blood flow is a critical issue. You know, it's called the canary in the coal mine as far as ED goes, but it gives men and women a very practical, everyday problem to relate to and understand as to how those tiny blood vessels are affected by what we eat. And so that's one thing we can see. We don't necessarily see coronary artery plaque building up. We don't necessarily see it in our carotid arteries, but we can see it with erectile dysfunction. And we need to be aware that that really is like the canary in the coal mine. You know, men don't need to ignore it. They've got to have an appropriate workup for it. And if their doctor says everything else is fine, this is just a problem of aging, that's got to be explored more. They need to go to a cardiologist. They need to check out their coronary artery function. So absolutely.
I love both of those documentaries. That's a great recommendation. And they're very easy to understand with great examples. All right. Well, this was so fun, Dr. Erin. Is there anything else you want to share with our viewers, and how can they connect with you?
Oh, well, thank you so much. So the name of my practice is Lifestyle Medicine, Wellness, and Recovery, LLC. Our website is the same name. We also have a Facebook and Instagram account. People can message me through the website. My email is Erin@drerinmayfield.com. That's another option. We would love to talk to people about joining our courses. I do one-on-one consults if they prefer that. We have local cooking classes and workshops. If anyone's in the Florida Panhandle, or really it's easy for us to go into South Alabama, South Florida, we have quite a wide reach where we can travel to homes or private employers and put on workshops. I've got a portable teaching kitchen that I use. I actually use it here in Pensacola at one of our indigent clinics where we have cooking classes there. So we can do all of those things. Just reach out to us. We can personalize it. We make sure that medications are monitored. I would like to throw in there, people who are looking, especially diabetics, looking at starting a plant-based diet, need to understand that their sugars can drop as quickly as 72 hours, and they may need medication adjustment. So it's important, if you're going to go whole food plant-based from the standard American diet and you're diabetic, you need to check your blood sugars at home at least twice a day, monitor, be in contact with your doctor, and make sure that you're prepared to make medication dosage adjustments if you do this on your own.
Thank you so much, Dr. Erin. I mean, I'm so inspired by you. You just are serving everyone you meet. And that's back to the basics of what being a doctor is all about.
Well,
I
thank you,
appreciate
Dr.
it.
Shopey. It's exciting and I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you so much. And thank you for all of your hard work putting together our book. We're very grateful.
Thank you, everyone. Check out How Healers Heal. Thank you, Dr. Erin. Bye.
Bye.